2021, and I am between Reno, Nevada and Lake Tahoe, one of my most favorite places to visit in all the world is Lake Tahoe. In fact, I believe it's like the #1 most beautiful lake in America. It is really pretty, and it's nice and cool there, cooler than it is in the desert. It's up about 6,000 feet, so that's what makes it a little bit cooler. And then it has mountains around it that are, I think, are around 10,000 feet, something like that. So anyway, right behind me, you can see a little bit of Reno right over here. And had a great weekend in Bernie, California. Had some people that attended that conference that said, oh my gosh, I wish I would have invited more friends and more people. Had I known what it was going to be like. I thought it was going to be weird. I thought people were going to be yelling and screaming and vomiting. And I'm like, no, doesn't need to be that way. All deliverance and healing is what? 4 components. Being honest. You know, there's some people that were there that maybe were being challenged because they really saw themselves behaving in ways that they shouldn't. You know, and they had to humble themselves to receive the healing and deliverance. But you have to be honest. Number 2, you need to forgive people for hurting you and realizing that they were hurt in their lives. That's what caused them to behave the way that they did. And then once we've forgiven, we need to repent for our pride, humble ourselves from our pride, repent for our own sin. Then we can command the demons to go. And then we have the fruit of the Spirit. You know, there's so many people that are in the church that need deliverance. There's people that are prophetic, that would call themselves prophets, that treat their spouses horribly, that gossip, that are prideful and arrogant, that put pressure on people to give them money. You know, there's a lot of people that need cleaned up. And that's what we do at Restorative Freedom. At our ministries, we help people to get healed from their past and delivered and have humility and have patience and have love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control, the fruit of the Spirit. That is truly what a real Christian is. And there's too many fake Christians that are out there that are hurting people. They call themselves Christians and they treat their spouses badly. They treat their children badly. They treat other people badly. So God looks at the heart, looks at our mind, and he looks for the fruit. If there's no fruit, it says in Matthew 7:21-23, Lord, Lord, look at all I've done for you. I've prophesied in your name, done many wonders in your name, and other things. And guess what? God said, I'm not falling for it. You know, you are actively involved in pursuing sin in your life. You know, Galatians 5:16-26. So anyway, it was a great weekend that we had in Bernie, California, with so many people that were getting healed and delivered. It's just a wonderful thing. And all it is I speak the truth. When you speak the truth can set the people free. And that's what happened. More and more people. And then we did the interview with Anna and Travis Denny. Went phenomenally. Oh my gosh, except on Facebook. Have you been realizing, at least since yesterday, that Facebook's been messing up? My good friend Dominic Herbst did a video on Facebook, I guess, and it was having the same issues. Facebook's having issues with not being able to hear the audio when we're speaking. So I was thankful to God that I did a backup on YouTube, and the whole interview is on YouTube. So watch that interview. Travis Denny talks about how he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. The symptoms he had is he couldn't walk very well. When he walked, it looked like he was drunk because he couldn't move his leg very well. He couldn't move his arm, like at all. He couldn't sleep at all, you know, but maybe an hour or 2 a night. And what other issues that he had? Major stuff. Oh yeah, he said he would overheat when it was whatever, could have been 75 degrees or something, and he'd be out in the sun too long, he would overheat. So it's a miracle. He got healed and delivered 4 years ago. He went through the prayers. He broke off generational curses. He broke off Freemason curses. And a lot of us have people that actually join this group called Freemasons, and they make demonic words with their mouth. They make declarations where they curse their bloodline in order to make money. So they end up basically selling out their whole family bloodline so that they can have the brotherhood protect them and make money and give them preferential treatment when it comes to the law, when it comes to going to court, when it comes to, all kinds of things, and it's not good, and so we're exposing the truth so we can help people. Jesus came, and guess who hated him? The Pharisees and the scribes. So there's a lot of people in the church, actually a lot of people there in the pastors that are at churches in Bernie that are, the pastors need to rise up and say, let's have inner healing and deliverance so that they can truly get the people set free. Instead of having a pastor bow down to his wife who has Jezebel and knows that, oh my gosh, if I let a person come in and talk about inner healing and deliverance and specifically calling out Jezebel, then that will call her out and she won't like that. And if she doesn't get delivered, then she'll get mad at me. And I'm like, well, who are you going to be afraid of more? Who are you going to serve? Jesus or the demons in your spouse? So we have to make a decision. Who are we going to serve? A lot of people end up choosing to serve the demons in people. And that's a wrong decision. That's a bad decision. Things will not go well for you. And if you submit to the demonic spirits, Revelation 2:18-23 talks about Jezebel. And if we tolerate that spirit, God will put them on a sickbed, kill their children, talks about. So it's very sad. Come on, people, stand up. It's time for us to stand up to those who are threatening us, who want to control us, manipulate, have us bow down to their demons. We're not going to take it. We're not going to say yes anymore. We need to stand up and no longer be an Ahab who then submitted his life under Jezebel in 1 Kings and 2 Kings. Not good. Not good at all. So anyway, had that great interview. Again, you can watch it on YouTube. It's under my playlist, testimonies, deliverance testimonies. But Travis shoots straight. He spoke it like it was. He spoke the truth. So did Anna. And they're helping people. Amazing. They're sharing some of the testimonies from people around the Bernie area that just blew me away at people's lives that are getting healed and delivered and are being honest now and being freed. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, there's lots of Jezebels in every church. They're in leadership. They're in, pastors' wives, worship leaders' wives, people that call themselves a prophet. Not all of them. Some of them are prophetic. But there's a lot of prophets that need deliverance. I have taken people through deliverance that are on the Elijah list. There's people that need deliverance that are on the Elijah list because they're gossips and they're jealous and they're Jezebels and they're manipulators and they're not nice people and they have a lot of drama in their lives and they want to accuse people of things. They come against God's true people, that are helping people, loving people, because why? They have refused to admit the truth in their own lives that they're struggling with. All you have to do is ask their spouse and their kids, how do they treat you behind closed doors? They wouldn't want that to be told. So anyways, all right. All that being said, this is my schedule. This coming up Monday, I will be in Portland, Oregon at a home group. And I'm not sure what the address is. I'll find out when I plug it into my GPS, but you can find out the address at restoredtofreedom.com. It's RESTOREDTO freedom.com, which is my website. And you can also go out to Facebook, Restored to Freedom, my ministry page, and find out what the address is there. But again, that's Monday night, a special Monday night. It's the day after Father's Day. Father's Day is coming up on Sunday. It's amazing. Thank you, Tina Kirkpatrick, for listing the restoredtofreedom.com website. It's amazing how many Father's Days that I have not been home. I've not been home, I don't know, it's probably been at least 5 years. Why? Because God's called me to do ministry around the world. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands that are getting healed, getting delivered. And it is an end-time ministry. Pure and spotless. We're trying to get people pure and spotless that are in the church. Too many people in the church have demons. And too many people outside the church have demons. But the people in the church is what is sickening, is that there are so many that are hurting God's people that are already hurting. And God's saying, enough, stop it. Get clean, get delivered so that you can truly walk in freedom. It's amazing. Had such a great time yesterday hiking in at Lake Tahoe in the mountains just southwest of the lake and in South Lake Tahoe. And Got to eat at this place. Get this, it was 2.5 years ago I found that they had huckleberry ice cream. And I loved huckleberry ice cream. So I went back to the same ice cream place. It's right next to the water, the south part of Lake Tahoe. And they didn't have it anymore. I'm like, so what did I do? Did I throw a fit? Did I get mad, get angry? No, I don't have demons. When you don't have demons, you go with the flow. You're like, okay. So you look at the menu and say, what else do they have that's maybe close to that? And they had something that they had, the guy gave me the initials, and he was like a way cool dude. And I said, okay, I'll order that. And they like flattened out the ice cream, made it like in very flat, and then they rolled it. I'd never seen that before. It was very cool. Put whipped cream on top of it, and it had a bunch of berries in it. It had like blueberries and blackberries and I don't know, some other kind of berries, and it was good. It was very similar actually to the tasting of the huckleberry ice cream. So anyways, go with the flow. So this Monday, Portland, Oregon. I know I've had a lot of requests to come to Portland. Portland needs deliverance, don't they? Yes, they do. The entire city, the entire state, the entire country of America, the entire planet. Yes, Lily has been enjoying herself. She had fun going hiking and looking at the water and the boats. So Lily's having the time of her life. And ironically, she was rescued from a cemetery. Now, she was left for dead. She was next to the road. She could have been killed, hit by cars. And now, look at her now. She's traveling the world, having fun, enjoying her life. Freedom, freedom, peace. You know this too? I'll just say this. People who struggle with demons tend to not treat animals very well. Have you noticed that? Oftentimes they yell at them. They try to get them to bow down to them, to be afraid of them. That's what Jezebel does. But they oftentimes do it to their own animals. Ever notice that? You know, they just raise their voice, yell at them, scream at them. And it's interesting to notice that. You know? All right, so June 25th, 26th, 27th, I'll be in Seattle, Washington at the Point Church. July 9th and 10th in Billings, Montana at the Everlasting Covenant Congregation. July 17th and 18th in Colorado Springs, somewhere, looking to nail down the venue. July 24th in Omaha, Nebraska, Empowered Family Church. July 31st in Fort Atkinson, Iowa, In One Accord. That's the first time I've been to these two venues, so I'm looking forward to first time venues here. What else? August 1st, Christian Life Center. First time I've been there, Decorah, Iowa. August 21st, Chicago Marriott, Naperville, Illinois. We have the greatest turnouts in all of America in Chicago. Who would have thought? But I've been to Chicago and used to be there when I was younger because I lived a couple hours from there. And they definitely need healing and deliverance. No, I cannot imagine trying to raise up a child in the inner cities of America, or any inner city, probably anywhere. You know, that's why I do not like to go to downtowns to do my meetings. I'd rather do them in a suburb. Number one, you have to pay for parking. But number two, there are more people that have stronger demons that are in downtowns than anywhere. And you see it all the time. You know, obviously homeless people everywhere. All the homeless people need is inner healing and deliverance. And then they'll be in their right minds. You know, there's so many homeless people that are talking to demons. You can see it. And it's sad. And if we can just tell people, hey, let's go through some inner healing and deliverance, then they can have peace. And then they can have joy and fun. All right, next, September 25th, Greenville, South Carolina, Faith Family Church. And then November 5th and 6th, Waco, Texas. And I'll let you know what the venue is there. And again, we're adding more and more. Again, it's amazing to watch this grow every single week. I'm excited, so excited. I hear testimonies from people saying, thank you so much. You know, changed my life. It saved my life. It saved my marriage. You know, our goal is to save marriages. But understand, it's not easy. When you have one person that's filled full of demons, that are great professional actors and actresses that act like they're the victim, act like they're so sweet and innocent, when they're controlling and manipulating and abusing their spouse, you know, they act all godly and stuff. It's not easy. You know, the Lord did come to separate the people that choose him versus others. He came to separate, came for division. When you choose to serve Jesus, it's really hard to have a close relationship with someone that chooses to serve Satan. They can call themselves Christians, that's fine. They can call themselves, but Jesus looks at the heart. He knows the truth. There's a lot of liars and actors and actresses out there in the church that are needing of healing and deliverance, that they abuse their spouses. Again, they may not be physically abusing because those demons are smart. They know that if they start hitting their spouse, that's a no-no. That will leave marks. So what do? They verbally abuse over and over and over. They can get away with that. It's really hard to accuse and have the police come when someone's verbally telling you that you're worthless, that you hate them, that they're ugly, they're fat, and blah, 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 blah. It's sad that people that would call themselves Christians do that. That is not the truth, and that is not a Christian whatsoever, and they're not on their way to heaven. So I will speak the truth, and the truth will set people free. Again, Travis Denny, he spoke the truth. He talked about how he had a grandfather involved in Freemasons, and he learned that the Freemasons do evil things. The grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason, way up there. That's the highest you can get. At the 30th degree, you have to say that you're going to choose to serve Satan. So those that are involved in that, it's an evil, demonic program that people need to get out of. I know a guy that he got out of it. He actually became a Shriner. And he went all 33 degrees in Freemasons, became a Shriner. And then he came out of it, but he treated his spouse horribly, verbally, all the time, emotionally. And she actually stayed in it, which was amazing, was a miracle. But he progressively got sicker and sicker in his body. And he tried to repent for all that he had done, but his behavior in the church was not good with women. He would try to get close to them, minister to them, and touch them, and it was not godly. He ultimately died, and he had all kinds of problems physically in his body. And but he did say at the 30th degree he had to choose to serve Satan, and it was all the dues that people pay into that organization with the hopes of getting money and so forth, and they get protection from the law, and it's evil. Who are you going to choose to serve, Satan or Jesus? So, topic of the day is stop enabling people who are toxic. People that have demons are toxic. They're evil. And they're used to controlling people who are nice, who are sweet, who are kind. There goes a Jeep. Yes, I'm on the side of the road. I was pressed for time today, so I couldn't get to my normal place, but that's fine. In fact, when you're out here in Nevada, as I am, you just want to run up these mountains. In fact, today I'm planning to go to Virginia City. They have a place there called Bonanza. Anyone ever heard of the TV show called Bonanza? Loved that show when I was growing up. Watched reruns of it, and it's a great show. Always they did what was right in the sight of the Lord and in the sight of law. And there were always bad people trying to come against them, trying to schmooze up. Little Joe had all the beautiful girls and women that were wanting him, and also Adam. Haas, not so much. He was a big guy, but he had a good heart. And Pa, they always did what was right. So we're going to go today to Virginia City and eat at Bonanza. Last time I went there, it was about 2.5 years ago. Only time I'd ever been here. And tried to eat there, couldn't, because one of the guys had a seizure or something. They had to call the ambulance, and they closed the place down right as I was getting ready to step in, right when it opened. So now God has restored, and I'm going back to eat. I don't know, maybe Little Joe. They have plates of food that are named after the Little Joe and Adam and Haas and Pa. So anyway, stop enabling people who are toxic. It's not easy. When you have people, especially if they're family members, especially if they're your spouse, and they have demonic spirits, what are they going to do? They're going to make your life hell. They're going to be negative. They're going to accuse you, oftentimes accuse you of what they do. They're going to condemn you. They're going to blame you, going to scapegoat you, going to treat you like crap, and they get away with it. Oftentimes because we tolerate it. You know what it says in Revelation 2:18 through 23 that we're not supposed to tolerate Jezebel. And that's what he has against that church of Thyatira, which is a representation of a church of people of today. Churches of today tolerate people that have Jezebel. They put them in positions because Jezebel wants to work their way up. They oftentimes want to get married to a pastor that has Ahab, and some of the pastors do have Jezebel. Oftentimes there are, worship leaders, prophetic people, evangelists, people in all kinds of ministries. If you're around them enough, you will be able to discern some of the badness, evilness within them. And that tells you that, hey, they need to be healed and delivered. Because if you're around toxic people, if you're around demonic people, if you're around people that tell you what to do, that are not telling you what to do in love, they don't have the fruit of the Spirit evident in their life, they're selfish, they're jealous, they're sexually impure, they're perverted, they gossip, all these things that are not godly, that will affect and infect you if you tolerate it. So, hello to Desiree Rogers. In fact, I think, you're the one that had come this weekend in Bernie, I believe. So welcome. Maybe you followed the show in the past. I think that name sounds familiar. Anyways, what we do here at Restorative Freedom is we tell the truth. We tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And the truth sets people free. And then we can have fun. We can go on road trips. And you don't strive and fight and argue. You don't have to talk all the time. Tends to, here comes a person on a bicycle behind me. You could get to go for a bike ride and have fun and enjoy your life. You don't have to stress and strive about anything. People that struggle with those spirits, those demonic spirits, if you're in a car with them, they will want to pick a fight with you. They will want to strive. They will want to argue. They will want to put you down, accuse you. They will want to ruin peace. They don't want peace. And they're really mad at you if you're having fun and enjoying your life. They want to blame you, manipulate you. They want to condemn you. They want to make you feel guilty so that they can control you and that you do what they tell you to do. And then your life ends up being ruined. So we have to stop enabling the people who are toxic, who are not healthy in our lives. People who are not healed, not delivered from their demons, will try to scapegoat you for their own issues because they don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to be honest. So what I do, if a person is toxic, I will speak the truth to them in love, but I'll say, you know what, this is what I'm sensing, is you tend to blame people for your own issues. You tend to have a lot of pride that needs to be humbled out of you. People don't want to hear that. How many times, it's funny, people that prophesy, again, I can prophesy. I can speak words over anyone. But the Lord has me concentrate on deliverance because there's too many prophets out there that just go out all day long giving good words, happy words, encouraging words to people that need words that are telling them that they need deliverance. And it's because these prophets don't know about deliverance. That's not their calling. They don't understand it. So then these people that have demonic spirits will go from church to church, conference to conference, wanting a word that makes them feel good. I know of this one woman. She went to so many conferences. She never got delivered. Never. She went through 4 divorces. And it's because of her. And she might have gotten some words along the way that said, hey, you need to get delivered. You are prideful. You're arrogant. You're self-sabotaging your own relationships. You still want to hear that. I've given some tough words to people. There's one woman that was from Idaho Falls. She was too prideful. And the Lord told me to give her a word, saying she needs to focus on humility. It was a loving word, but it was the truth. And she ended up getting slain in the spirit. And then she came up after, 5 minutes, and she said, you know what? I was telling the Lord this morning, I really need to pursue humility. I'm very prideful. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. That's the truth. The truth can set people free. But prophets are a dime a dozen. There's so many prophets that'll just say, I'll give you this word, it'll make you feel good. Instead, they need to be focusing on deliverance, inner healing. So there's a lot of people out there, they're not healed, they're not delivered, and they want to control you. They want to tell you what to do, make you feel guilty for their inadequacies. for their inabilities to make wise decisions. They'll just scapegoat and blame you. Yeah. Well, what does that do? That causes those who are more of a loving heart, giving heart, to get hurt. So what should you do to those people that are trying to condemn you? Now, I would recommend speaking the truth to them in love, but you may say to them, you know what, you have a lot of issues, and you won't take ownership for them. You try to blame me for that. I'm not going to take it anymore. And you'll have to pull away from them. If they refuse to own it, which most will. Most will not want to humble themselves, but at least you spoke the truth in love. Jesus spoke the truth in love to who? The Pharisees and the scribes. He called them a brood of vipers. He did not like them because he knew their hearts were so prideful and arrogant, and that they hated him. They were jealous of him. But he spoke the truth. How many of them chose to repent, humble themselves, get delivered? Ultimately, we don't know. Maybe over their lifetime, they finally did, a few of them. But a lot of people have such a high level of pride that if you bow down to them, give in to them, it's like you become a slave to them. You're an Ahab. Ahab did more evil in the sight of the Lord than all the other kings prior to him because Jezebel stirred him up. Because he listened to Jezebel. He tolerated Jezebel. You cannot listen to a person. Let's say you're married to somebody, and occasionally they're giving you sex, but it's not intimacy. If a person has demons, it'll never be intimate, never be the way that it should be, never be loving and kind. So a lot of times people sacrifice, compromise godly behavior and decisions because, if I don't give them what they want, then I won't get what I want. And that's what Jezebel does. So we need to stand up for the truth, speak the truth in love. And then if that person does not humble themselves, does not own their own issues, then part, get away from them, separate. I always say when it comes to a husband and wife, you give that person time to repent. You speak the truth to them, and you end up telling them to watch some of the videos that we do. The testimonies are phenomenal. They need to be honest. If they won't be honest, nobody can get them delivered. God can't, Jesus can't. He'll keep working on them, but you give them up to the Lord and stop allowing yourself to be toyed with them. If you have a child that has that spirit, stop trying to bow down and kiss up to them. Love them from afar. Doesn't mean to be mean to them, but you got to understand that there's times you have to give them freedom so that that child can learn the consequences of their decisions, and they'll ultimately turn and come back to you. By you enabling and continuing to bow down to them, then those demons know that they can toy with you and play with you, and you are slowing down the process of allowing God to do what he needs to do to bring them to the end of themselves. You are enabling that. So do not allow another person to be enabled. Speak the truth to them. If they refuse to admit the truth, have nothing to do with them. Their demons will scapegoat you for their issues. So what did Jesus say? Jesus said in Luke 12:49-53, I came to send fire on the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how distressed I am till it's accomplished. Do you suppose that I came to give peace on earth? I tell you, not at all, but rather division. For from now on, 5 in one house will be divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. Father will be divided against son, son against father, mother against daughter, daughter against mother, mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Same thing you can say for husbands and wives. Anyone that chooses to serve Jesus and get their lives right with the Lord cannot have a very close relationship with people who choose to serve Satan. So whether they're your children, whether they're your parents, you may have to love them from afar. You may have to cut them off, separate, part, and just pray. And don't get into fear-based praying. Just say, Lord, I just ask that you'll send and charge the angels to go forth to speak to them, to give them a dream, give them a vision of the truth. And there's some cases where you as a parent have inflicted pain upon your child before you got healed and delivered, and you need to apologize. Take ownership for what you've done. There's a lot of parents that don't want to do that. I had to do it with my own children, and they received it. We have a great relationship. All my kids, I love them. They love me. And there's times you may have to speak the truth to someone or a child and they don't want to hear it, but if they're not in the right space completely, they have such anger and hatred, bitterness. And there's some kids that have been turned against their parent by another parent. You have a person that struggles with the spirit of Jezebel, is married to someone that has Ahab, and then they end up separating and or divorcing. Then Jezebel's goal is to go after the kids, try to turn the kids against the other parent. At that point, what do? You just pray and you trust the Lord, that the Lord will bring back them and that they will ultimately see the truth, and they normally will over time. It's painful to walk through that. I understand that. I have gone through that at a level, a certain level. It wasn't fun. Like, you cannot convince, though, a child of the truth. They have to kind of come to realize that by being around, their father or their mother, and over time they'll normally see that. But you have to love them and give them their space and trust the Lord. But if you've got a dad or a mom that you're continuing is blaming you, scapegoating you, then the best thing you can probably do is to kind of cut things off, pull things back, see them on occasion, talk to them on occasion, and let them see in the mirror for themselves. You can speak the truth in love. Say, Dad or Mom, you've got some issues, and the issues are you. You've got some unforgiveness and bitterness, and it's causing you to behave in ways that are not healthy for me. It's toxic. So I love you, but I'm going to give you to the Lord. I'm not going to allow you to speak words over me that are negative, that are hurtful. I'm going to give you to God. And when I give you to God, then hopefully you'll be able to see the truth. And you can point them to our ministry, Restored to Freedom. Say, hey, watch some of these videos. I'm going to speak the truth. They may not want to hear it, but my gosh, who doesn't want to know the truth? Again, a lot of times people that have the spirit of Jezebel, they don't want to hear the truth that they are the ones that need to be, that are to be blamed, but it is the truth. At least if a person knows the truth, hears the truth, eventually they normally will come around, hopefully, and change and get set free. But the truth is what people need to hear. There's a whole bunch of people in the church that will tell you lies all day long. Lies about, oh yeah, you can't be affected by demonic spirits. You're a Christian now. Oh, good. So let's see, why am I having all this fear and anxiety and anger and bitterness and trigger? Well, go to the counselors, go to the doctors, take some medications. None of that gets rid of the spiritual root. They'll never be able to permanently change and be different until they've had their soul wounds healed and been delivered from the demons tormenting them. Then they're a different person. The countenance changes. They're nice, they're sweet, they're loving, they're kind, they have peace. They have the fruit of the Spirit. They can enjoy life. They don't take an offense. Wouldn't that be great to get your whole family healed and delivered? Oh my gosh, it's so fun. Guess what? So, this morning here, just south of Reno, I look at the temperature on my phone at about, 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and it said 50 degrees. Well, guess what the high is going to be today? 96. It's going from 50 to 96. It's almost doubling. That's going up 46 degrees. There's not too many places in America where you see that great of discrepancy. I know Flagstaff, Arizona, oftentimes sees cool nights and then warmer days, but they normally don't get up to 96. It's supposed to be like 103 here, I think, tomorrow. So how cool is that? I don't know. I find that very amazing to watch, how the temperature's like warming up. Right now the sun's still on my phone, but my phone's not overheating. Praise the Lord. So anyways, I encourage people, do not allow people who are demonic, who are toxic. And how do you know the demonic people? They're going to speak negative to you over and over and over, try to bring you down and curse you, essentially. Speak negative words, accuse you, blame you, scapegoat you. Don't let it happen. Stand up to them. Speak the truth back in love. And then if you have to, disengage. And do not allow them, and they're going to probably try and text you, call you. And oftentimes the Lord takes some dramatic measures over those who are doing what the Lord is wanting them to do, as far as they've taken ownership over their own selves, they've repented, they've forgiven people, their life is aligned with the Lord. And so you are under a protective covering. Doesn't mean people may say things and lie about you. You know, I've had some people that have done that in the past, and now their lives are a mess. They're miserable. You know, the truth proves out over time. So when people accuse you of things, lie to you, they may get a few people that agree with them that have similar demonic spirits. They've been wounded. You know, oftentimes you'll see this. Like if you have a husband and wife, say the wife has Jezebel and the husband has Ahab, and then it becomes a separation, then becomes divorce. Then the person that has Jezebel, she'll go after talking to other, oftentimes women that have not gotten healed from their wounds, from their either husbands or ex-husbands or their dads. So they all come together because like spirits like to hang out with the same spirits. So same thing with guys. You know, if guys have Jezebel, they'll end up lying and making things up and having other guys support them and so forth. And that's what happens. You know, people that are honest will share the truth about stuff that they've done, and that's a healthy place. But you're not going to convince people who have demons of the truth. You know, I hear this all the time from people. Oh my gosh, my mom or my dad or my child is behaving horribly. They're accusing me of this. I'm like, have they got delivered yet? No, huh? I'm like, okay, well, they got demons. Oh, okay. Then like the next week or the next 2 weeks, oh my gosh, they're doing all these bad things again, saying all these things, horrible things. I'm like, have they got delivered yet? No. Okay, well, they have demons. Oh, okay. So you cannot expect people to behave in a nice way. You'll wear yourself out. I've seen it. So speak the truth, pull away, and have a nice day. Enjoy yourself. Be at peace. Again, people that have demons hate peace, hate you having fun and enjoying your life. I get it. The truth will set people free. But again, it was so nice. Yesterday I went hiking in Lake Tahoe. Met this gentleman, very sweet guy, and he asked me, you know, why I'm out here and stuff. I talk about ministry, and then he said that he was a marriage and family therapist, and he had a mother that was very hard to deal with, and you know, it had caused him to struggle with drinking alcohol, and his mother needs healing and deliverance. Absolutely, positively, healing and deliverance. And so anyway, I got to share some of our ministry and what we do, and he was like very interested, and I'm like, praise God. So I loved going places around America, and then God sets it up to where I can speak the truth. Again, it just flows off my tongue. Like yesterday, it was just coming out like water out of a reservoir. And I love it because this is the truth. It sets people free. When we forgive people, when we can see those people through Christ's eyes and know that our dads or our moms or our children were hurt deeply, we can forgive. And so can you imagine if you were a psychologist or psychiatrist, and you learned about inner healing and deliverance, what an impact you could make. You could actually get your clients to be healed and set free and delivered. They wouldn't have to keep on going on and on and on, counseling and taking medications and all this stuff that doesn't work. You know, I went through what I went through dealing with people who had, you would call them mental disorders, but I went through that for a reason, so I could learn the difference when a person got healed and delivered. And I saw the change. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is night and day difference. You get so excited, so pumped up, you can't contain yourself. That's why when I'm traveling all over the place, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to talk to this person. I want to talk to that person. I want to help this person. I want to help that person. I love people. When you're healed and delivered, you love people. You want to do what Jesus has called you to do. And you can't contain yourself. You're so excited. I have so much peace, so much joy. There goes an airplane. I think it's a Delta. You can see red, white, and blue on the tail. I'm not too far here from the Reno Lake Tahoe Airport, International Airport. It's so peaceful. I'm just excited, so excited. I'm going to Virginia City today. Virginia City, anyone who's ever been there, you have to drive up to get there. It's a town up in the mountains, and it looks just like Bonanza. They have like wooden front porches on the whatever saloons and restaurants, and they actually have camel races there. Last time I went there was 2.5 years ago. Again, I didn't get to eat at Bonanza. I'm gonna eat there for lunch today. I'm excited and pumped. Little things excite me, like eating at a restaurant or going to see Lake Tahoe. It's so beautiful there. I always wanted to go there. I remember watching golf on TV where they would have these golf tournaments, and the golf course was like next to Tahoe, and they would show Lake Tahoe. I'm like, oh, I want to go to Lake Tahoe. Just the name Tahoe. They named a car, a large vehicle that Chevrolet came up with called Tahoe after that. So anyways, I'm so excited, so pumped. In fact, the hotel I'm staying at, there's amazingly a lot of places that I frequent that are right there, like Sport Clips. Got to get my hair cut, getting a little bit long, and Chase Bank, where I bank at, and Sprouts, healthy Whole Foods right there. Of course, there's Whole Foods Market. There's all kinds of cool things. So, all right. Yes, demonized people do not like it when your life is good. So that's why I have a lot of people that still have demons and are witches that hate it because they're like, we can't shut him down. He just keeps getting blessed more. And it's true. And I'll say this too, it's neat that like people that have demonic spirits and are into witchcraft and stuff, they always try and play on people's heartstrings to get them to give them money. They come up with this cause or that cause and throw a few tears in there. And I'm like, really? I'm like, people don't fall for that. Stop it. That's witchcraft. That's trying to play on your emotions. Don't do it. And it's just, I don't know. There's tons of people that need healing and deliverance. Period. All right. I'm going to let you guys go and see you on, I'll say that the reason I'm on YouTube and not on Facebook is because Facebook messed up yesterday, like the audio. And then my friend Dominic Herbst had it messed up today. So I'm not trusting Facebook right now. Of course, I've never really trusted Facebook, but it's how a lot of people have connected. So, but I'm trusting YouTube. YouTube's done a good job. So, yay, YouTube. All right. See you guys later. Love ya. Bye.